For many people, fashion is an art, and what we wear is our canvas for expressing ourselves. Designer Sigrid Olsen has been creating wearable works of art for decades, and now her fashions are designed right here on the Sun Coast. We are thrilled to have Sigrid with us today, and we are very honored to be wearing her creations. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I feel so beautiful.
It's so much fun dressing people that I know, and I do that now with my ad campaigns. Are all people that the local Sarasota people that I know, and it's so wonderful to see you all wearing my clothes today.
Oh, it feels so good. This is just perfect for Sarasota because it's so lightweight. It is. So, what brought you to Sarasota to design your clothes?
Well, it's a long story because my business started back in the 80s, but in 2008, a lot of things changed for a lot of people. And my business closed up north, and I loved the weather here. So I looked all over Florida and went to many different towns, and I settled on Sarasota because it has a beautiful balance, I think, of culture and nature. Which are two things that are really important to me. And so then I opened up a gallery in Burns Court, and that was before I started designing clothes again. And then when I started designing clothes, it was 2 years ago, and I couldn't do both. So now I'm just designing, and it's fabulous. I live in Siesta Key. I work in my home studio. I fly to New York once a month. My daughter lives there, so I get to see her, and I have a career again.
I love your life.
I kind of love my life too. I hope nothing changes, and that never happens.
So you incorporate the Suncoast lifestyle into your designs.
Yeah, very much so. It's funny because I've always been known for my color and my kind of whimsical designs. That are very southern based. Like I had a huge business in Florida, and yet I lived in New York City, and I lived in Massachusetts, and from there I tried to kind of channel what it would be like to live down here. And now that I live down here, it just comes so naturally.
Well, both Linda and I noticed that the fabrics are so light and airy and comfortable, and that's key here. Because it is not comfortable for a good half the year, but this makes it so much better.
Flowy.
Yeah, flowy and light and airy.
Because when I changed into this, suddenly I felt like a huge weight had been lifted off.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
And this is a sweater. When you think of sweaters, we think of like hand knit, you know, fisherman sweaters or something.
Bulky,
but this is
but
the
not
lightest,
at all.
most breathable fabric.
Oh, yes. Now, you incorporate your travels into your designs, too, right?
Yes. I love islands, so I usually travel to islands everywhere, and I have to admit that now that I'm living in Florida, I don't feel compelled to go to the Caribbean as much. Now I feel like I want to go to Europe and do some cultural investigation. But yes, I love nature, and I love the kind of colors that you see in the water and the palm trees, flowers, all of those things I incorporate.
And the patterns are those, because you're an artist also. Are the patterns incorporated with your art?
Yes. This is my art, and we just transferred it onto a sweater.
You drew a picture with this on it?
No, you'll see later because we're going to have a little fun time. But I started my career actually because I was a printmaker and textile designer, and I used potato prints, if anybody remembers those, on fabric.
It's the only way I can paint.
Right, exactly. But now I have a more permanent method of carving my stamps, and we use those stamps. I use those stamps to make prints. So I will carve little stamps, create the pattern on a piece of paper, scan it in the computer, and then it's made into screens or patterns for clothing.
So it's like a double talent. You're not just picking a textile that you find is attractive to you. You're making a textile and then making a garment.
Yeah, and
that's cool.
You know, sometimes I am inspired by some other textiles, but I always kind of give it my own twist, which is the color. And you know, this is using some of my designs, but it's mostly about the color.
Right.
So,
it is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you use real people in your campaigns too, right?
Really
real girl.
Super real people. Yeah, that was my big aha moment this year. I'm so used to taking a whole crew on a fashion shoot, and you've got, you know, a photographer and the equipment, and anywhere you go, it's like everyone's looking at you. But here, I thought, I want this to be more real because, of course, social media now is more important than anything else. I used to do a lot of print ad campaigns, and I don't do that anymore. So I thought, people really want to see how I live. and they
Yes.
want to meet my friends.
And
What's a better way to do it?
And see how great your friends look in your clothes.
Right.
Yes, I love
and you
it.
can be my friend and look good
Well,
in my
we
clothes.
want to
too.
know
Take
how
pictures
you make
anytime
these
for you.
prints.
Really?
So we'll
Thank
be
you.
right back, and she's going to show us how to do it.
Okay.
We can make our own.
Yes.
Well, maybe not.
Or to make art.